When you have a plain mold and you want to add some embossing to your mold, there are lots of different choices. You can use pre-cut craft foam pieces. These are adhesive on the back, and you can stick them right down to the bottom of the mold. You can also use texture treads, which come in all different designs and sizes, and all you need to do is cut them down to fit into your mold. Be sure that they set all the way down. You may have to adjust them so that they sit all the way at the bottom. These heavier texture treads lay flat on the bottom. If you are using the craft foam texture pieces cut down to size, you do want to use a tacky dot to the back so that it will hold it down flat. Otherwise, they will start to float up in the Cool2Cast. Now we're ready to pour. I've poured my Cool2Cast over all of my texture pieces. Tap the side of the mold to release any bubbles. Come back in about 5 minutes to check the bubbles to make sure that they're all released. You can pop the big ones with your finger. And then let these pieces set for 1 hour until they are firm to the touch. These Cool2Cast pieces have been sitting now for about an hour, so they are hard to the touch. It's time to unmold. Because we use the tacky dots to hold some of these pieces in, they're sticking to the bottom of the mold, so you just need to work a little bit more to get them out. Now you get to work a little bit with the tip of your skewer to remove the pieces that you have used to emboss. Now that craft foam, because it's very fragile, you can only use it one time. It will tear out, but you can see this great detail that it leaves behind in your piece. So keep using the tip of your skewer to pull back. And you'll notice that a little bit of the Cool2Cast, because this was face down in the mold, it has gone under, which is now on top of that. And all you have to do is just peel it back, and that extra Cool2Cast pops back off. For the harder rubber texture plates, you have to dig just a little bit more. Be careful when using your craft knife. And just peel it back to reveal the design. When working with the craft foam, you just dig out each of the petals. They easily pull out. And pull up to reveal your design. So continue to remove all of your texture plates and craft foam shapes and pieces from your Cool2Cast. The craft foam pieces you can throw away or save them in your mixed media recycle bin. The texture treads you just clean off with a wet wipe so they're ready to use again. You can use these over and over. They're very durable. And then you are ready to clean up your Cool2Cast pieces. For the embedded craft foam flowers, just use a blunted edge of your skewer and run it along the edge, and that's going to clean up that flower design. And use a brush to brush away the extra. For the embedded texture pieces, you can leave the edges raised, or you can actually break them off and sand down the edges. It's also easy to use your craft knife to carve down edges. If you want to remove them, it makes a nice clean edge. When you're using your craft knife, be very careful. All of your cleanup is best done right as the pieces come out of the mold. It's easier to use your craft knife, your skewer, and your sandpaper when these pieces are still slightly moist. Now that I have these cleaned up front and back, I let them set aside to dry overnight or until they're no longer cool to the touch, and then they are ready to color and embellish.